Have you ever thought the gold supplier badge on Alibaba was your golden ticket to trustworthy suppliers? Well, guess what? Better buckle up because we're about to dive into a glittering world of paid badges, questionable verifications, and some jaw-dropping case studies that might just change the way you source products forever. The gold supplier badge is often seen as a hallmark of credibility on Alibaba. Suppliers pay for this membership, which includes certain verification processes. But here's the kicker. Paying for a badge doesn't necessarily mean a supplier is trustworthy. Gold supplier is a paid membership. All you have to do is pay a fee to Alibaba, meet a couple or more official standard requirements, such as having a registered business and passing a verification and authentication process. The problem then ensues. Most buyers assume that by default, these sellers are legitimate and trustworthy. It's worthy to note that verification processes do vary. These processes may be carried out through online research, over the phone, checking suppliers' website, or looking at potential databases. Sometimes they do also verify on site. This is not a definitive indicator of reliability. As I mentioned earlier, these checks or a gold badge isn't a sure proof of the seller or manufacturer's legitimacy. Think about this for a second. Now, let's say your boss will inspect and evaluate your office on a given day. What does one typically do? So similarly, a supplier may just put up all the shimmer and glitter knowing the checks are going to be done on any given day. So what do? They crank up everything to expectation just to get what they need, which is the gold badge. Once inspectors agree to a pass and your badge is awarded, what guarantees operations will follow guidelines, or how can Alibaba be sure these sellers don't scam people afterwards? Frankly, they can't. This is not to say that it's the sole responsibility of Alibaba to ensure these factories and sellers do the right thing. In fact, there are over 30,000 sellers on the platform. So Alibaba can only supervise what happens on its platform, but none whatsoever on the grounds of the sellers or factories. In 2011, Alibaba faced a massive scandal where over 2,000 gold suppliers were found to have defrauded buyers. This wasn't just a minor hiccup. It led to the dismissal of top executives and a significant hit to Alibaba's reputation. I know what you must be thinking. Almost businesses have hiccups every now and then, but over 2,000 gold suppliers, 2,000, that is a lot by the stretch of any imagination. Consider this for a split second. You are a buyer enticed by the gold supplier badge because you've done some research, and most advice you get is to choose suppliers who bear the golden badge of honor. So you place a substantial order. The supplier, however, turns out to be a scammer using a hacked account. They do that most of the time. The result, you lose your money, no product, and a hard lesson learned. And to be honest, you might need more for therapy. Scammers create fake accounts and use them to impersonate legitimate suppliers. They often use stolen photos and product descriptions to make their account look authentic. They may also offer prices that are significantly lower than the market price to attract buyers. Another way scammers use the gold supplier program is by creating fake certificates. Alibaba requires suppliers to provide certain documents to become gold suppliers or gold members, such as business licenses and product certifications. Scammers may create fake versions of these documents to deceive buyers into thinking they are legitimate suppliers. Does this make Alibaba less trustworthy? It's needless to say, not all gold suppliers on Alibaba are scammers, but unfortunately, some really are. Many legitimate suppliers use the program to increase their credibility and attract more buyers. However, you should still exercise caution when dealing with gold suppliers and do your due diligence to ensure you are dealing with a legitimate supplier. So how do you verify a gold supplier's legitimacy? One way to do that is to check their transaction history and ratings. Alibaba provides a rating system for buyers to rate their experience with the supplier. You should also check the supplier's website and social media account to see if they are active and legitimate. So, if a gold supplier status isn't foolproof, what should you look for? look for the verified supplier badge. I know many people might disagree or opinions may vary on this, but this is what I pay attention to amongst other things. Unlike the gold badge, this involves third-party inspections and a more rigorous verification process. This isn't a membership program, so you don't pay to be part of the club. You actually go through a process, which my company did back in 2017. I had inspectors physically come check my office and workspace to be sure I have all documentations necessary to run my agency. When in doubt, take note of the differences. Gold supplier, paid membership with very basic verification. Verified supplier, third-party inspections with detailed assessments. To ensure you're dealing with genuine suppliers, consider these tips. 1. Always request product samples. 2. Check for third-party certifications. 3. Communicate directly to assess responsiveness. 4. Research supplier reviews and ratings. And 5. Use Alibaba's trade assurance for added protection. I do tell you all the time. So in summary, while the Alibaba Gold Supplier Program can be a useful tool for buyers to find credible and legitimate suppliers, it is important to be aware of the potential for scams. You should do your research and exercise caution when dealing with gold suppliers to avoid falling victim to fraud. Remember, all that glitters isn't gold. Don't be swayed by shiny badges. Do your research. If this video is helpful to you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more insights, stay in business, and happy sourcing.